King. The king is the heart and soul of your chess army. It's not the most powerful piece on the board, but it's undoubtedly the most crucial. The game revolves around this singular piece. Lose it, and you lose the game. The king's movement is modest, one square in any direction. This limited mobility symbolizes the vulnerability of leadership. Like a ruler in the midst of battle, the king must be protected at all costs. Yet, in the endgame, when the board clears, the king can transform from a liability into a potent force. The concept of check is intrinsically tied to the king. When under attack, the king must be moved, shielded, or the attacker eliminated. This constant threat creates a fascinating dynamic, where every move must be calculated with the king's safety in mind. Perhaps the most profound aspect of the king is its representation of strategy versus tactics. While other pieces engage in the tactical battles across the board, the king embodies the overarching strategy. Its positioning can dictate the flow of the entire game, from the safety of a castled position to the bold advances in an endgame. In essence, the king in chess is a metaphor for leadership, vital, yet vulnerable, limited in direct power, but paramount in importance. Queen. The queen is the crown jewel of your chess arsenal, a piece of unparalleled versatility and power. She combines the straight-line movement of the rook with the diagonal prowess of the bishop, making her a force to be reckoned with on any part of the board. This piece embodies the concept of centralized power. From the middle of the board, a queen can control a staggering 27 squares, nearly half the battlefield. Her ability to swiftly traverse the board makes her both a fearsome attacker and a reliable defender. The queen's power, however, is a double-edged sword. Her loss can be catastrophic, often signaling the beginning of the end. This creates a fascinating risk-reward dynamic. Do you unleash your queen early for aggressive play, or keep her protected for later stages? Interestingly, the queen wasn't always this powerful. In early versions of chess, her movement was much more limited. Her evolution to the most potent piece mirrors societal changes and the rising recognition of female power. The queen teaches us valuable lessons about resource management. Her immense strength must be balanced against the risk of loss. In chess, as in life, our most powerful assets must be wielded with care and strategy.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
Rook. The rook, often visualized as a castle tower, is a pillar of strength in your chess army. Its movement is straightforward yet potent, any number of squares horizontally or vertically. This linear motion embodies clarity of purpose and directness of action. Rooks truly come into their own in the later stages of the game. As the board opens up, their long-range capability becomes increasingly valuable. The phrase, "rooks belong on open files," is a fundamental principle of chess strategy, highlighting their ability to control entire columns. One of the rook's most fascinating aspects is its role in the castling move. This special maneuver, involving both the king and rook, is the only time in chess when two pieces move simultaneously. It beautifully symbolizes the cooperation between defense, the castle, and leadership, the king. Rooks also demonstrate the power of teamwork. A pair of rooks working in tandem, often referred to as batteries, can dominate the board. This coordination showcases how pieces can be more than the sum of their parts. The rook teaches us about the value of patience and positioning. While not as immediately impactful as the queen, well-placed rooks can control the game in the long run, much like how strategic thinking often trumps short-term tactics in life. Bishop. The bishop, with its distinctive diagonal movement, brings a unique geometry to the chessboard. Moving any number of squares diagonally, bishops slice across the board, offering long-range influence that complements the straight-line power of rooks. One of the most profound aspects of the bishop is its color-bound nature. Each bishop is confined to either light or dark squares for the entire game. This limitation teaches us a valuable lesson about working within constraints and maximizing potential despite restrictions. Bishops truly shine in open positions. Their long-range capability allows them to exert influence from a distance, often controlling key diagonals that cut through the heart of the enemy position. The phrase "bad bishop" refers to a bishop blocked by its own pawns, highlighting the importance of piece coordination and pawn structure. The bishop pair, having both light-squared and dark-squared bishops, is a significant strategic asset. This duo can control the entire board, showcasing how complementary strengths can overcome individual limitations. Bishops also embody the concept of indirect action. Their ability to attack from unexpected angles often catches opponents off guard, teaching us the value of approaching problems from different perspectives. Knight. The knight, with its distinctive L-shaped move, is the maverick of the chessboard. It's the only piece that can jump over others, embodying the concept of unconventional thinking and approaching problems from unexpected angles. The knight's movement, 2 squares in one direction, then one perpendicular, creates a unique pattern of control. This unusual trajectory allows knights to reach squares that no other piece can, making them invaluable for penetrating enemy defenses or setting up forks. One of the knight's most fascinating qualities is its ability to change the color of its square with each move. This characteristic makes knights particularly useful in blockaded positions, where other pieces might struggle to maneuver. Knights truly shine in closed positions. While bishops may become limited by pawn structures, knights can hop over these obstacles, maintaining their effectiveness. This adaptability teaches us the value of flexibility in constrained environments. The concept of outposts is closely tied to knights. An outpost is an advanced square where a knight can be placed, protected by a pawn, exerting influence deep in enemy territory. This strategic placement showcases how positioning can amplify a piece's strength. Pawn. The pawn, often seen as the humble foot soldier of chess, embodies the concept of potential and transformation. Despite being the least powerful piece in terms of movement, pawns play a crucial role in shaping the battlefield and can ultimately become the most powerful pieces on the board. Pawns move forward 1 square at a time, but can move 2 squares on their first move. This initial burst of energy represents opportunity, a chance to establish position quickly. Their capturing move, diagonally forward, teaches us that sometimes our sphere of influence extends beyond our direct path. The concept of pawn structure is fundamental to chess strategy. Pawns are the only pieces that can't move backwards, so their placement creates permanent features on the board. Doubled pawns, isolated pawns, and pawn chains all have profound implications for the game's flow. Perhaps the most inspiring aspect of pawns is their potential for promotion. Upon reaching the opposite end of the board, a pawn can transform into any other piece, except the king. This metamorphosis reminds us that with perseverance, even the smallest entity can achieve greatness. Pawns teach us about the power of collective action. While individually weak, a well-coordinated pawn structure can control the game. They remind us that in chess, as in life, every piece, no matter how small, has a role to play. Castling. Castling is a unique and pivotal move in chess, embodying the concepts of safety, preparation, and the balance between offense and defense. It's the only time in chess when 2 pieces move simultaneously, the king and the rook, symbolizing the coordination between leadership and fortification. The mechanics of castling are simple yet profound. The king moves 2 squares towards a rook, and that rook then moves to the square the king crossed. This can be done on either the king side, short castling, or queen side, long castling, each with its strategic implications. Castling serves multiple purposes. Primarily, it moves the king to a safer position, usually behind a wall of pawns. Simultaneously, it brings the rook into play, connecting the rooks and preparing for control of the center files. This dual purpose makes castling one of the most efficient moves in chess. However, castling comes with restrictions. It can't be done if the king has already moved, if the rook has moved, if there are pieces between the king and rook, if the king is in check, or if the king would move through or into check. These conditions teach us about timing and preparation. Castling is a strategic decision that can shape the entire game. The choice between kingside and queenside castling can dictate the flow of attacks and defenses. It reminds us that in chess, as in life, establishing a secure position is often a prerequisite for effective action. En passant. En passant, French for in passing, is one of the most intriguing and often misunderstood moves in chess. This special pawn capture embodies the concepts of timing, opportunity, and the subtle complexities that make chess such a rich game. The move occurs when a pawn moves 2 squares forward, its first move privilege, and lands beside an enemy pawn. The opposing pawn then has the option, only on the immediate next move, to capture the pawn as if it had only moved 1 square. En passant beautifully illustrates the importance of timing in chess. The fleeting nature of the opportunity, available only for one move, teaches us to be vigilant and seize moments when they arise. It's a reminder that in chess, as in life, some chances are transient. This rule was introduced to counterbalance the pawn's ability to move 2 squares. Without it, a pawn could slip past an enemy pawn's capture range unfairly. En passant thus maintains the delicate balance of the game, showing how rules evolve to preserve fairness and strategic depth. Perhaps most profoundly, en passant demonstrates how even in a game as ancient as chess, there's always room for nuance and deeper understanding. It reminds us to look beyond the obvious, to consider the subtle interactions that can change the course of the game. Promotion. Promotion is a transformative moment in chess, embodying the concepts of perseverance, reward, and strategic foresight. It occurs when a pawn reaches the opposite end of the board, at which point it can be exchanged for any other piece except a king. This metamorphosis is a powerful metaphor for growth and achievement. The pawn, the humblest piece on the board, through steady progress, can become the most powerful. It's a reminder that in chess, as in life, consistent effort can lead to significant transformation. Promotion adds a fascinating dynamic to the endgame. The threat of promotion often forces opponents to divert resources to prevention, creating opportunities elsewhere on the board. This demonstrates how potential can be as powerful as actualization. While most promotions are to a queen, underpromotion, to a rook, bishop, or knight, can sometimes be strategically advantageous. This nuance teaches us about the importance of context and the occasional need to eschew the obvious choice for a more subtle advantage. The journey of a pawn to promotion is fraught with danger, mirroring the challenges of any significant achievement. Each step is a commitment, as pawns can't move backward. This one-way journey emphasizes the importance of careful planning and the courage to commit to a course of action. Check. Check is a pivotal concept in chess, embodying the immediate threat to the game's central piece, the king. When a king is in check, it's under direct attack, creating a moment of urgency that can dramatically shift the flow of the game. The declaration of check serves as both a warning and a call to action. It demands an immediate response. The checked player must move the king, block the check, or capture the attacking piece. This forced response often disrupts carefully laid plans, teaching us about adaptability in the face of sudden challenges. Check can be a powerful offensive tool. A series of checks can force an opponent's king into a vulnerable position or disrupt their piece coordination. Conversely, defending against check requires foresight and careful positioning. This interplay between offense and defense mirrors many real-world strategic situations. The concept of check introduces an interesting psychological element to the game. The constant threat of check means players must always be aware of their king's safety, influencing every decision. This parallels how core vulnerabilities often shape our broader strategies in life. Perhaps most profoundly, check reminds us of the delicate balance in chess between focus and broader awareness. While the immediate threat must be addressed, losing sight of the overall position can be equally dangerous. It teaches us to handle immediate crises without losing sight of our long-term goals. Checkmate. Checkmate, the culmination of a chess game, embodies the concepts of ultimate victory, strategic foresight, and the art of trapping an opponent. It occurs when the king is in check and there's no legal move to escape, effectively ending the game. The word checkmate itself has a fascinating etymology, derived from the Persian shah-mat, meaning the king is dead. This linguistic journey reflects chess's rich history and its spread across cultures, teaching us how ideas evolve as they traverse boundaries. Achieving checkmate requires a delicate balance of aggression and patience. It's rarely a sudden event, but rather the result of a series of moves that gradually restrict the opponent's options. This process mirrors many real-world scenarios where success comes from sustained pressure and calculated decisions. Interestingly, a checkmate position can occur even if the player delivering it doesn't realize it. This nuance teaches us about the objective nature of truth. A winning position exists independently of our awareness of it, encouraging us to always seek deeper understanding. Checkmate also introduces profound philosophical questions about determinism in chess. In theory, a perfect game by both sides should always end in a draw. Yet the complexity of chess ensures that practical play almost always results in a decisive outcome, reminding us of the interplay between theoretical perfection and practical reality.